Alright, so the impossible has happened. The sky is clearing, the depressed are rejoicing. What you are seeing on your screen right now is Sonic Unleashed. Yes, but it's not played through Xenia, nor the PS3, not even the Wii. It's an actual recompilation of the fan favorite Sonic game. There's no buts, no restrictions, aside for console players that don't have a PC or an Xbox. I'm so sorry for y'all. Nothing. It's the entire game, fully playable and better than ever. It almost feels unreal. Skype, Brianu, and a bunch of more notable Sonic modders and creators in the community that you have probably heard of if you are used to play well modded Sonic games, have not only brought Unleashed to PC, but they also added tons of quality of life improvements to the game and made it so everyone with a PC could play the game. And I'm not talking about NASA level multicolored super gaming PCs that you needed to play on an emulator. No. The footage that you are looking at right now is from a 2017 i3 core PC on the brink of death. And even though you can say it's still kind of choppy, it's 100% playable from start to finish. They really put their heart and soul to this remaster. A remaster that could have sold maybe millions of copies if Sega played their cards right. Yeah, so I know that most people must be thinking that Sega is seeing this like a proud father, happy to see their fans make the most of their leniency on the IP and display their incredible potential for the benefit of everyone. But I could bet money that the higher-ups are absolutely fuming right now, even maybe cursing that rule, because they just missed a gigantic, easy to get opportunity that they will never get back. Let me explain why. When you ask a Sonic fan what game they like to see come back, what will you see most of the time? Colors? Not really. Generations? Yeah, but it's already accessible at high quality through PC and Xbox Series X already. Well, that's the ports we got. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have gotten these ports, because at that time we were extremely lacking in 3D Sonic games on modern hardware and got the classic titles all over again for the third time. It's just that they were never really the most urgent cases. Unleashed, however, is probably the most requested to be remastered of after the adventure games, and is most certainly the most requested game to be simply ported to modern hardware. Unlike the adventure games, Unleashed is not that outdated. It already was ahead of its time in terms of quality and graphics, so much so in fact that it played badly on the PS3 and Xbox 360, the consoles they were released on. All it really needed was to be upscaled to 4K and 60 FPS and call it a day. The reactions of fans to Sonic Colors being remade completely after being only available on the Switch for 9 to 10 years at that point, compared to Unleashed being simply backward compatible and upgraded on the one console that not many had access to, says it all. So now let's put ourselves in Sega and Sonic Team's shoes for a second. Unleashed, the most wanted port of the Sonic franchise, has just been recompiled for PC for completely free. Yeah, you can act like you actually need an Xbox 360 copy, but we all know that you don't. The game is one Google search away. I know, I did that too. So now if they ever think about remastering the game now, they must take into consideration that they lost the PC players, which are probably the biggest buyers, at a time where Sonic the Hedgehog's relevance and rate of approval is the highest it has ever been since maybe the 90s. You can say that they have Xbox sales, but the console itself is not selling really well, 1, and 2, Sonic's name was still in the mud during that time, so even though it was kind of a big deal, it did not make the noise that it would have done if Unleashed were to be released today. So now they could only appeal to Switch and PS5 players, but that doesn't really matter when you realize that their version will not be able to compare. The port is honestly semi-perfect with all the additions and fixes that the fans would have wanted for the game. And again, it's completely free. On the other hand, if you take into notice what Sega and Sonic Team has given us lately, we have Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is playable at best, on par with Sonic Boom Rise of Lyrics in terms of quality at worst. Sonic Origins, which is alright but has non-optional changes that not many like, and is honestly pretty expensive for games from the 90s. Especially when you remember that 3 out of the 4 games were already available and also have 3 better fan-made counterparts. And finally, Generations, A port that is pretty good but suffers from, again, non-optional changes, this time in the cutscenes and dialogue, that not many fans agree on. I know it's not fair to have preconceived ideas and compare a company on a budget and a deadline with fans that are only motivated and limited by their passion, creativity, and all the time in the world. But that is what will inevitably happen if they try one day. Nobody would pay for an inferior $30 to $40 version when there is a free superior version available in one click. That being said though, I still want a port to come from Sonic Team. But I just think that it would be wiser now to focus on other games that really need them, such as the adventure games, Heroes, and 06, before it's too late and the fans end up doing it themselves. Because 2 days before this video released, a crack has opened on Sega's leniency rule, and if they end up taking that back, the company and the fans will suffer the consequences. Unleashed is a nature game, by the way.